Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I thought I would continue on with my mini reviews for products that I talked about in April 2018. I already did a part 1 of this, and I will link to that down below in the description box, or if I remember, I'll put a link right up here. So we're going to be doing part 2 today. I talked about a lot of stuff in April, so I had to break this up in 2 parts. We're going to be starting with my Sephora VIB sale haul part 2. And moving to the end of that month. So if you're interested in hearing me do basically like my final review and final thoughts on products that I talked about back in April 2018, then just keep on watching. All right, so I just pulled up all of my April videos and I left off at the Sephora VIB sale haul part 2 video. So that is after the Charlotte Tilbury Transform Eyes and Exagger Eyes quads. And the first thing I talked about in this haul is this one single shadow from Surratt. And this is the Noir Le Plus Noir shadow. It is a matte black, but if you're familiar with Surratt shadows, his matte shades are, well, they're matte, but they are not like dry looking at all. And I think it's because of the formula and the sort of process that his mill uses in creating shadows. They're very satiny feeling, and you end up with a matte that isn't too dry look. I really love it. I love all the Surratt shadows, but I got it because I put them all into this Adept Cosmetics palette and I was missing one and I was like, what do I need? And I needed a black. So anyway, I got it. My life is now complete, although I feel like I need a few more down there. So that was the first thing that I hauled. I really enjoy Surratt shadows, so not much to say there. I also purchased the T3 convertible base and the Loose Waves barrel, the 1.5 inch barrel. That's in my bathroom. I have used it twice since April, and I think you guys have commented on when I have worn curls. In terms of a curling wand, I think it's awesome. I think it does a great job. It gets really hot, but I don't feel like it's frying my hair. So the finish on the barrel is really nice. I love the 1.5 inch size. I think that gives me some nice waves. I think before that, I always tried like 1 inch or like 1.25 inch, and they always seemed a little bit too tight. I just don't curl my hair that often. It's just an extra step that I never think to do. I'm never in the habit of doing it. I wash my hair pretty much every single day. So it's just a lot of work to do every day, or to know that you're going to do it and just wash your hair the next day. So anyway, I do like it. If I do want to curl my hair, I love using it. It's wonderful. I just don't do it that often. And then I have listed that I talked about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. And I was so confused because I'm like, I don't use that eyebrow pencil. But I just remembered I purchased it for my mother. So my mother loves the Brow Definer. I think she uses medium brown. Anyway, she goes through them like water. So I usually, whenever there's a sale, and in fact there is a sale coming up, I'm probably going to purchase like 2 or 3 for her just to kind of get her through. So that's the Brow Definer. And then the Marc Jacobs Coconut Iconic Eyeshadow Palette. So here is that eyeshadow palette. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this palette because I find the eyeshadows to be very nice. They perform nicely. I just never, ever reached for this. I wanted to do a whole video kind of dedicated to this palette, you know, do a look, and I just couldn't really get a look that I liked. I feel like this one shade is way too warm for everything else, and then this one is like way too cool. Like this one just, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like there's something off about this particular palette. It seems like it should be okay, but I don't know. These 3 shadows just, they don't do much on my lid. They kind of muddy together. And then, these are kind of similar on the lid. It's just weird. It's a very weird palette. Please let me know down below in the comment section if you purchase this palette and you love it and you make it work. I would love to hear like what shadows you've been gravitating towards in the actual palette, because I don't think you can use all of them at once. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot. There's 7 in here. I feel like I tried a whole bunch of different combinations and they all, I don't know, they just didn't really come out right. Something was missing. So anyway, I never really reached for this at all. And then another thing from that line was the Fantasy Dewdrops, and I was so excited for these because the first ones that came out, I love. The perfect tone, and I knew that this one was going to be a little bit deeper, and it's not a good sign that it's still in the box, But this shade is like, it's just way too deep, and I never really gave it the chance to kind of figure out where else I could put it. But it's just, I can't add it to my foundation because it's too deep. I can't use it where I would normally highlight because it's too bronzy. It's a lot of sheen if you want to kind of add it to your bronzy area. Like, it's too much sheen for that. So yeah, this is another one. I was so excited for this, and I just never reached for it. So it's kind of just been sitting in this box, languishing in my drawers. And then the Marc Jacobs Coconut Setting Powder. I think I talked about this. This powder did not work out for me. It just looked really, really dry on my skin. So this is something I actually passed off to Risa of Risa Does Makeup, because she has a much different skin type than me, much oilier, and I think she loves it. It really works well for her skin. So I passed that off to her. I also passed off the next thing to her, which is the Hourglass Translucent Setting Powder. This it just looked too thick on my skin. It's just, I think the product is really nice. It's just not my style of product, if you get my drift. Like, I don't like thick looking powders. I don't like really full coverage foundation, things like that. So I just don't think it was for me. And I used it in all these different ways, different techniques to kind of really buff it out and to really kind of thin it out. But it just didn't work for me. It was one of those products that I feel like it really picked up on any sort of peach fuzz that you had. And it just made, I keep using the word thick, but it just made my skin and my makeup and everything look really, really thick. So I passed that on to Risa as well. I don't know if she's been using that one. But anyway, she has that now. And then next on my list is the Sunday Riley Juno Oil. So I purchased a 1 ounce during this haul because I was finishing up a 2 ounce bottle. By the time I finished up the 2 ounce bottle, I had also purchased some like other oils in there. So I've been using those other oils, including like the La Mer Renewal Oil, the Sisley Black Rose Facial Oil. I think there was another one in there that I can't even remember. Anyway, this 1 ounce bottle of Juno oil is still sitting in my closet. So I haven't even used it yet, but I do like the Juno oil. I'll probably go back to it. I just, after you use like a whole 2 ounces of an oil, it's like, I just want to try something else. So I'm sure I'll go back to it because I do really, really enjoy that oil. And then I picked up some Tom Ford stuff. No surprise there. I got the lip lacquer in Ravageur. Love this. This is one of the lip lacquers in the vinyl formula that I really like. It's just a patiny, high shine lip gloss, basically. And this Ravageur is just a really great, almost burnt kind of red. You can see that it's not one of those bluish primary reds. It has like a little bit of warmth in there, like just a hint. So I really love this one. It's great. And I love this formula. And then I purchased 2 of his eye quads. So I purchased Golden Mink, which is definitely well loved. I've been using this one quite a bit. Love it. Just beautiful kind of like neutral colors, and then you have like the 2 toppers there, one cool, one warm. Just really beautiful. Love this quad. And then I also purchased Seductive Rose, which is a much more pinky purpley toned quad. And this one I definitely have not been using as much as Golden Mink, since I'm definitely much more of like a neutral eyeshadow lover. But this is very trendy for this season, these much cooler shades. So I do love it. I do love it. I just haven't reached for it as much as the Golden Mink, but I feel like this fall I'll be reaching for it quite a bit. And then I also picked up the lip gloss in Love Bruise, and I think I was just wearing this, but this is a great one, especially for all these eyeshadow palettes that are coming out that are a little bit more cool toned, with like the pinks and the purples and the lilacs in there. This is a great pairing for that. And I love the Tom Ford lip gloss formula. I love the color selection, the whole range. Everything is beautiful. So this is no exception. I love the Love Bruise. I love the Love Bruise. And that is what I hauled in my Sephora VIB sale haul part 2. So let's go to the next video that I did. And this is, this was a collaboration with Risa of Risa Does Makeup. I'm mentioning her a lot in this video. But we did a collab where we talked about the Inglot and JLo collaboration. We did a haul and some swatches and stuff. So I can tell you now that I have not reached for a lot of the things that I purchased at Inglot, and not because I didn't like any of the products. In fact, I liked all of them a lot. It's just, you know, I'm always reviewing stuff and I'm always going through my collection and just kind of, you know, using stuff that I haven't either used in a while or, you know, that I want to feature in a video. Anyway, these eyeshadows are amazing. I remember using these and thinking that they were so pigmented, they were easy to blend and everything, but I just haven't reached for them since I purchased it, which is just unfortunate, but they're really just beautiful. And I think that they've expanded their collaboration or they're re-promoting it, something. But they're just stunning. Look at these colors. And then I also got this one pan. It's like a split pan product. And it has like a highlight, blush, and bronzer, kind of. But I just swirl the whole thing together and I basically get like a nice glowy kind of blush. And this is the highlighter trio in Gold Dust. And let me just show you what that looks like. So that's basically the color that you get when you swirl them all together. So it's very pretty. It's very, very glowy. It's definitely on the warmer side. A lot of the JLo stuff I recall was on the like warmer side. I think just, you know, because of JLo, and she just has such a beautiful like warm kind of skin tone. Anyway, so that was another thing that I purchased there. Really loved it. Now the lip glosses I actually used quite a bit. So I got lip gloss in Burnt Sienna, and then this one I used a lot. This one is Goldie Lips, and you can actually see the little dent that I made in there. But these are great. The formula is wonderful, not too sticky. They're not, I don't like lip glosses that are like too opaque. I like them to be like a little bit sheer, just sort of easier to use. I feel like if they're too opaque, they just, I don't know, they always kind of look a little messy on my lips. So anyway, this is a great formula, great colors. Really enjoying these for sure. I also got this bronzer, which is like a hint too deep and too warm for me. I have to be very, very careful when I use it, but it works. It's fine. And in fact, in the camera, you can't even really tell, but it's just a little bit too warm for me. I don't know if you guys can see that, but if I'm careful and if I use it lightly, it's fine. Again, just something I haven't been reaching for, but the formula is great. It blends out beautifully. It's a matte finish. It's really, really soft. Anyway, just love it. Need to whip it out for sure. And then I got a bunch of these pure pigments. They're like little pots of glitter. They're beautiful. The impact is amazing, but they're just a little bit on the fussier side because they're loose glitter. I need to put a glitter glue down. I should probably use a mixing medium with them. And I just never seem to have the time or the inclination to take that extra step. So again, another thing that I haven't really used from this collection, but they're beautiful. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. And then this is something that Risa picked up, and once she put it on her skin, I ran back to the store and purchased one for myself. This is the Live in the Highlight Illuminator for face, eyes, and body. So it's a loose highlight, and I'm actually gonna throw some onto my cheeks just to show you like how amazing this product is, because I didn't pick it up in the store because it looked really, really glittery, and I thought that is not for me. But once Risa got it on her skin, it didn't look glittery at all. It just looked really, really wet and metallic and just everything you want to highlight to be. So I'm just picking some up on my fingertip here and patting it onto my skin. I mean, do you see that shine? It is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. So I've used this a couple of times since our video, but not often. I mean, not as much as I should, considering how amazing it is. And then I went into foundation week. I think I only got through 2 foundations before it turned to May. So let me talk about those. The first one is the Sunday Riley, the Influencer Foundation. That was a total bomb for me. I returned it. It looked just bad on my skin. It emphasized lines, it broke up, it didn't perform well on my skin at all. So I returned that. And then the next foundation that I talked about, which I think was on the last day of April, is the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. And I have this foundation, I never use it. All the other foundations that I have been using, I like more than this one, unfortunately, but there is really nothing wrong with this one. I just felt like it kind of didn't do much for my skin. Like it's nice, it doesn't do anything bad per se. I don't think it emphasized texture. It does start to fade. you know, after like 6 or 7 hours, I recall, but nothing tragic. And I think the finish of this was a little bit too natural for me. Like I really like ones with like radiance and glow in them. And this one was just a little bit too like skin-like, bordering kind of on matte for me. So while there's really nothing wrong with this foundation, it's just, to me, not as good as the other ones that I have in my collection. So I just haven't really been reaching for this one, unfortunately. Oh, I lied. I was able to squeeze in one more foundation in the month of April, and it was the Chanel Le Beige Sheer Healthy Glow Moisturizing Tint with an SPF 30, and I have it in the shade Light. And I really like this foundation. This foundation has that kind of radiance that I really like. It just gives me a glow. It makes me look really healthy without looking oily or sweaty. It just looks really natural on the skin. The coverage is like a light medium, so I don't feel like I'm wearing like a mask of foundation. It's just great. It just feels really great. The only downside to this foundation is that it has a pretty strong Chanel like fragrance to it. And while I feel like I'm pretty much used to it, like I only smell it when I first put it on, I do remember when I first used this foundation, I felt like I could smell it for like the majority of the day. And I don't like that. I don't want to be able to smell my makeup. So that I would say is the only downside to this. But I love the packaging even. It's so sleek. It's a full ounce, but it's flat. And it's plastic, so it's really, really light, travel friendly, and it just has this little like squeezy tube at the top. It just makes dispensing it really easy. So anyway, this foundation I really, really love. I still use this constantly. Love this. So that is it for the month of April. I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Let me know if you still have any questions about anything down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video.